In the white trunks, and the very, very experienced American journeyman Everett Bigfoot Martin in the pale blue. Jim Priddy, the referee.
You know, Martin really, they said he was only ever a middleweight, a blown-up middleweight, and he doesn't look a big heavyweight. As you can see, he's carrying a lot of weight around his midsection. But he's a genuinely tough guy and takes a great dig, as he proved against Mason, Gary Mason and George Foreman. Went the distance with both of them and took Riddick Bowe, the heavyweight champion, or one of the heavyweight champions, into the latter stages of his fight too. Genuinely a tough guy, and if Hyde finds this guy hard to hit or hard to pin down or hard to nail properly in the early rounds and starts to, you know, get loose in the later stages, this guy could really exploit those mistakes and take advantage of Hyde. So he's got to pace himself properly here.
Well, Hyde giving away the best part of 2 stone. Hyde coming in at 15.5 and Martin at 17.3. And during the summer, thanks to this new diet that Freddie King has had Herbie Hyde on, looking after his eating habits, that's just a slip. Herbie's put on the best part of a stone during the summer. And looks well on it, I have to say.
Yeah, he just looks a little bit more rounded and filled out, but he's, you know, I'm always sceptical about this added weight of heavyweights, talking about going up and down the stone. And, I like to see it sort of, he can grow into the weight, and he'll do that. Obviously, he's only a baby for a heavyweight, and he will get heavier. But I don't like to see him try to force himself to put on weight. That's not a good thing. But he does look heavier and more solid at this
yeah, he does.
extra poundage. The thing Herbie's got to do, he's got to learn to pace himself a bit better. He's got extremely quick hands, and that's what gets him into trouble all the time. And not that he is ever in much trouble. He's great defence, pulls back from punches very well, and moves very sprightly on his feet too. But he has got to learn to pace himself and put his punches together a bit more. Just 3 or 4 together like
that's that. That's good.
That's good stuff there. He's got a fabulous jab. He's just got to keep flicking it and using it.
That's good. Good right hand from Hyde.
Hit him with the heel of his glove there, but it was a good punch. And Martin's shaking there, there's no question about that.
Well, the last 2 fights, he's gone the distance with Tony Tucker and Larry Holmes. And all right, those 2 are not the forces they once were, but they're still good fighters.
Oh, that's a good left hook from Herbie, a cracker right on the button. He knows he's hurt this guy.
Blinding speed from Hyde. And that was, well, Jim Priddy says no count. He was hurt, was Martin.
It wasn't a genuine knockdown, but he was hurt with the left hook just beforehand. Good right hand again from Hyde. He's doing a good job here. This doesn't look good for Everett Martin.
Good first round from Hyde.
That was a good opening round from Hyde. Very good stuff at near the end of the round. Paced himself very well. And what he done was he put his shots together, and when he hurt the guy, he took advantage of them. This is I think there's the left hook. There's that left hook. No, that's right in the bridge of the nose. And he sort of pummeled him to the floor, wrestled him to the floor at the end of this here. That's a good another left hook, and as he went back to the corner here, he sort of pushed him over with his elbow. But he had hurt him before that. Impressive opening round from Hyde. He's learning to pace himself better. He's picking his shots better, and he's developing as a heavyweight, no question about that. But this fight is long from over. There's a long way to go, and if he makes mistakes, this guy will get him. There's no doubt about that.
Round 2.
So round 2 of this scheduled 10-rounder. Hyde dominating the opening exchanges. Hyde, remember, 22 fights, 22 wins, 22 stoppages. Perfect 100% record all round. Can't say the same about Martin. He's been in with some good fighters. He's fought every heavyweight who has had any aspirations over the last 10 years or so. See that little nod? He gave Herbie Hyde a little nod of acknowledgement for the youngster.
Those are the punches that are going to work from straight, accurate punches. He shouldn't get up too close because he's a bit wide open, Herbie. When he gets in close, he takes too much space to throw that left hook. You should just pepper him with them straight, hard shots, and then just get on his bike and move from side to side. I was worried about the fact that he held his hands down low like that, Herbie, but that's the way he feels most comfortable, and he certainly is effective when he lets them shots go.
Minute gone, round 2. And Martin was in a little bit of trouble at the end of round 1. Jim Pritting decreed no knockdown, but was absorbing a lot of punishment. They're using the Reyes Mexican gloves. These are puncher's gloves.
There's no question about it. They're the solid, hard puncher's gloves. The ones that they're filled with a mixture of foam and horsehair, and they really are suited for guys that can bang.
And Herbie can bang.
There's no question about that.
Had a little bit of hand trouble early in his career, but thankfully, after an operation, that seems to be a thing of the past now.
Well, those punches aren't getting through. They look spectacular from the back of the hall, but they're not as accurate and clean. They're cuffing Martin around the head, but they're not actually landing with any great force. Can't say the same about that right hand. He's just got to be patient here, Herbie. This guy's not going to go easy. He's got to pick his shots carefully. But having said that, he can't allow the guy to get into the fight. Good right hand. That's a cracking shot from Herbie. That's really good.
And Martin looking a little bit puffy about around the right eye. Got through with a couple of good shots. He has caught Hyde on a couple of occasions, but not enough to worry him.
Yeah, it's just sloppy punches. Nothing clean as yet. Good right hand from Herbie again, and he's staying on the outside. Now you see, it's when he gets close with this guy, then he'll start opening up, and he could nail Herbie. So, got to keep him on the outside. That's good, straight, accurate punch, and then get on your back, move to side to side.
The count is picked up, and Martin laboriously hurls himself up. Count of 6.
Oh, there's 3 or 4 good shots right on the bell there. Now, Martin wasn't that badly hurt when he went to the floor. He was forced back, but he was hit with some good clean shots near the end of the round there. Here we have shots of them right hands again. This is the one that actually forced him to the floor. It's the right hand that landed before that. That's the one that hurt him. And of course, his feet got caught up on the way back and he went down, but I was glad to hear that bell.
And be under no illusions that this is a good performance by Hyde so far. This is a durable class opponent. The usual corner crew. Alex Garfredy and Jason King coming up for round 3.
Round 3.
2 completed rounds, both Hyde's way. A knockdown in round 1, no count. A knockdown in round 2. Everett taking a 6 count. Everett Martin from Houston, Texas. I've just got no answer to Hyde's speed at the moment, Barry.
Yeah, we talked about him being in with the likes of Larry Holmes, Tony Tucker, and the likes of Bow. And the one thing that Hyde has got over most of those guys, he's got tremendous speed, really fast hands, and he really punches as fast as like a super middle, light heavy. And most of the heavyweights find that very hard to cope with. And I have to say that Everett is finding it tough to cope with as well. That left jab, really snappy, solid jab.
Well, it certainly would be some achievement if he managed to stop Martin and managed to stop him before the halfway stage, because as we've been saying throughout, this guy is not a championship fighter, but he's a good Division 1 fighter. He's been in with and tested the best.
Yeah, I think the way of describing him is that there aren't many guys that stop him. Even the top guys can't stop him that often. It took him 6 rounds before he stopped him, so he's a really tough guy, and he provides a good workout for most of the heavyweights. But Hyde has dominated these first 2.5 rounds. He just battered the guy all over the place.
Been in with a British fighter before, fought Gary Mason. Gary won all right, but he had to go the full 10-round trip.
Martin's taken a beating over them the first 2.5 rounds, or in the third round now, and he's really taken a hammering. And you know, he won't be able to shake that off in the latter stages of the fight if it goes that far.
Well, remember Hyde, I haven't had a chance to look at Herbie's statistics properly yet, but of the 22 fights, every single one of them has been stopped inside the distance. So we'll be keen to keep up that track record against Martin. No count. That was just a
He actually
flop
forced him
forward.
down there.
Yeah.
Hyde forced him down. The referee gave him a bit of a ticking off. But Martin's tired too, so every time he gets inside, and Hyde's right, you stop him, punch it, just hold him, grab him, and stick to your game plan.
And it says something for Hyde's strength as well. That as we look at him, that he's giving away the best part of 2 stone and doing that, coping with that well. Let's take a look at his statistics now, and as you can see, absolutely perfect. 22 years of age, 22 fights, 22 wins, 22 stoppages, and aiming to make it 23 out of 23. And we've seen every single fight on Pro Box. We've followed his career right from the very, very early days when he fought a chap called L.A. Williams at the York Hall in Bethnal Green, the 24th of October, 1989. Knocked him out in 2 rounds. Everett Martin from Houston, Texas, 35 fights, 18 wins, 16 losses, a draw, and 8 of those wins inside the distance.
Terrible, they don't even have an ends well in the corner. They have a big silly ice pack. Ridiculous. Should have an ends well in there, get it on that swelling.
Round 4, scheduled 10 rounder, and you'd have to say the 3 completed rounds easily won by Herbie Hyde, triple champion from Norwich, reigning British heavyweight champion. Signs that Hyde is maybe thinking more of a fight than he has done in the past.
Yeah, he's more patient. Everett has been complaining, Everett Bigfoot Martin has been complaining from the offset really about how he lost his patience in the last round and shouted at the referee. But I think that yeah, Herbie's got to think more pace-wise. He's got to set his pace and then be able to shift up a gear when necessary and drop down it when he needs a breather. Take a breather and walk around. But he's certainly boxing the right fight here. He's keeping the guy. He's using his footwork now in this round. He hasn't been on his toes for the first 3 rounds, but he's getting up on his toes and flicking that left, very fast left jab, stabbing jab. Yeah, like all his other opponents, Martin is finding Hyde's speed hard to cope with. He's not an easy guy to hit clean, Everett Martin. He's keeping his hands high, keeps his head moving. He's hard to hit him on the button. And Hyde has hit him a lot around the head and the forehead and the temple.
Yes, one day the fighter is going to come along, and it may even be Martin, who is going to take Hyde the distance. He may, and I hope he does for his sake, he may well go through his entire career unbeaten, but he's not going to stop everybody he meets.
Well, that's absolutely right, and we watched him in Antwerp against
Craig Peterson,
a big Australian kid who took him into the latter stage, and he got tired in that fight, and he had to breathe heavy and take a round off, and then he came back and switched up a gear again.
It's a good round uppercut.
He's picking his shots well here. Watch the way he ripped that uppercut in there. Nearly walked onto a right hand, but yet he's picking his shot. He's thinking about where he's placing his punches. That's good.
Be interesting to see whether Herbie manages to avoid falling into the trap he did against Jean Chanet at Norwich, which went 7 rounds, when he realised he wasn't going to stop Chanet in the early stages of the fight. He seemed to sort of run out of ideas a little bit. Couldn't stop the guy early and thought, well, now what do I do? And he seems to have learned, seems to have matured from that performance.
Well, we're now going into the 5th round, and you know, Herbie's going to have to pace himself against this guy. It's now that he's got to be careful, because he can get sometimes where he lacks his concentration and
That's right.
loses his composure.
That's right.
Sometimes doesn't vary his tactics enough, and the guy's cool. He just gets his hands up and knows where the shots are coming. Someone as experienced as Everett Martin. So this is where he's got to switch his tactics and be able to switch up a gear when necessary. A couple of good punches landed here again from high, but none of those punches are landing right on the button. And Martin is a hard guy to nail properly. Look at the way he's moving that head.
Bonus 10 seconds.
But they're all counting. He tried that uppercut, just missed the button.
Seconds, round 5.
So we're coming up to the halfway stage. This is round 5 of a scheduled 10-rounder, sponsored by the Thompson Directory here at the Grandy Halls in Leicester. Herbie Hyde from Norwich in the white trunks against Everett Martin from the United States in the pale blue. All Hyde. No rounds even been close yet.
Well, Martin's been so concerned about protecting himself that he hasn't been able to throw anything at all worthwhile. And Hyde has had it all his own way so far. That's a good solid jab. It's not just a fast one, there's weight behind it too.
Good jab. Jerk the American's head back.
He's complaining again, Martin, that he's forcing his head down, and he is doing that, so the referee should give him a ticking off. I'm talking about Herbie Hyde. He's guilty of forcing the guy down. I'd do it myself if I was in there. In fact, I've done it before. But the referee will only let you away with so much.
Oh, that's a right uppercut. Oh, it's a good shot. Hitting on the break.
Hyde's got to learn to work the body too. That guy's very heavy around the solar plexus. He's not ripping in those body shots enough. He should be putting the jab to the head and banging in hard shots to the body too. He's got tremendous power and speed. He should bang that body too. Learn to get down on bend his knees a bit and whack in those hard, solid body shots.
And Martin still complaining. And I think Jim Pritting quite right, saying, look, I'm refereeing this fight and I'll do it my way. And that's, I think, a little bit of the old madam from Everett Martin. He's been around long enough. Some referees you can get away with it, some you can't. Jim Pritting you can't, so well done him. Well, he just clipped him with a right on the way down, but I think it was just a slip more than anything else.
Oh, he pulled him down there, Dave. He pulled him down, put his left hand around his head and pulled him down. He hit him on the way down, but again, he pulled him around the back of the head. If we see it in slow motion after the round.
And Martin glared at the timekeeper for daring to pick up a count. I didn't think it was a knockout. Now, Herbie Hyde hanging onto the top rope, which is not officially approved by the Marquis of Queensberry.
No, you're not allowed to do that. I was just going to say that earlier in the round. It's actually the referee should have warned him about that. Oh, that's a good body shot. Now let's see more of that. Rip those body shots in. He can turn them shots in really well, but he's not doing enough of it.
Well, the American landed a right-hander right on the belt.
When Hyde works that head all the time, Martin just gets his hands up and is only concerned about protecting his head. Pulls his hand across for the uppercut, blocks that left hook right hand. If he whacks the solar plexus hard on the short ribs, the floating ribs, it'll bring those hands down, and he can then exploit his weakness and defense to the head.
We've never seen Herbie throw too many body shots, have we?
Yeah, so I think he should throw more. Got a great left hook to the body. This is where he forced him down. It just pulled him around the back of the head, really. That's wasn't a legitimate knockdown. Referee should have given him a little ticking off about that. Now they've got the ends well on that eye.
Bonus 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 6.
So we're in the back stretch now. Round 6. Furthest Hyde has ever been is 7. That was against Jean Chanet. We saw that fight. Ended with Chanet just really having a number done on him. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Now, time, gentlemen, please. That was silly. That was silly. No need for that. No need for that.
Yeah, well, the referee's giving him a ticking off, Herbie Hyde. He's got to get a hold of things. Martin's shouting at the referee, said, come on, man. Lay down the rules, and he's right to, but he shouldn't be continuously moaning about things.
Last fight, last season on Pro Box, remember we saw Michael Aldis disqualified against Adi Benton. Now, some thought he was desperately unfortunate and some thought the referee was wrong. But the fact is he was disqualified in a fight he was walking. And what a shame it was for Michael Aldis to lose his unbeaten record that way, and how foolish it would be for Herbie Hyde to follow a similar route. That's a little bit of an experience creeping in then.
Yeah, but the referee's in charge, Dave. He's got to take control.
Absolutely, Barry,
and,
absolutely.
You've got to listen to him. Hyde's pace is dropping again, and you know Martin is not having to take so much punishment because Hyde is obviously feeling the pace, and he's dished out a lot of punishment and thrown a lot of shots, and he's feeling the pace of it. He's probably taking a round off.
Keep your head up, Martin. Keep your head up.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Yeah, condescending Everett.
Well, it can be a bit of a Sergeant Major Jim Pridding at times, and I don't think Martin reacted too well to the peremptory tones of our referee. Didn't hear it. Referee Pridding barked out, keep your head up, and Martin said, yes, sir. With, somewhat less than respectful. No knockdown, that was just a wrestle. I think Martin made a bit of a meal of it, I have to say that.
Well, Herbie sort of half threw him over there too. He's not bad at the old judo.
And Hyde has got to keep focused. Be very easy to lose concentration in this contest. Hasn't flowed.
Yeah, but the thing about Martin is Martin hasn't been able to get himself into a roll here at all. He hasn't been able to get any punches going at all, and he's just getting slowly peppered to pieces. He's just boxing his ears off, and he's able to do and control the pace and do whatever he wants. He's starting to work the body a bit more, but it's a wee bit too late. He should have been hitting that big round tummy of Martin's earlier on in the fight.
A little bit of needle perhaps creeping into this contest now.
Round 7.
So 4 rounds to go. In theory, this is round 7 of this scheduled 10 roundup, sponsored by Thompson Directory. Chief support to the Chris Pyatt Hugo Corti world title fight. Good left from Martin. Best punch he's thrown so far. Short left, caught Hyde at the side of the head.
That's better from you. See the way he's troubling Martin with that right hook to the body. He banged the right round the side of the old bread basket there. Hit him very hard round the body. That's what he's got to do. He's got really quick hands. He can turn them shots into the body really good. Put all his weight into them. That's what he should be doing. Snap on that left jab, and then as soon as he gets his hands up, whack the body hard. He'd have more success. He'd be so concerned about watching his body then, Martin. He'd drop his hands and you'd be able to hit him to the head. But Hyde is again taking a round off, just walking around and taking it easy.
Well, you know, if this does go 10, I'm for one, I'm convinced that it actually would be no bad thing.
Oh, not at all. It's great for him. I mean, he's controlling the fight. He's doing everything right. He's won every round so far, and you know, it's just a matter of whether he'll stop this guy or not. But there's no need to. He can go the distance and just feel what it's like to go 10 competitive rounds in the ring.
I think he would take a lot of pressure off him.
That's a good right hand. Good right hand from Hyde.
I think he would take a lot of pressure off him. because having won every fight inside the distance, and he could, of course, finish this inside the distance, having won 22 fights on the roll inside the distance, you feel you've got to end it inside the distance. If you don't, if one goes the full trip, you lose that 100% inside the distance record. There's pressure off. You don't have to do it every time.
There's no need for him to win every fight inside the distance. Chris Eubank has proved that. At the end of the day, he's got to be happy with his performance, and up to now, he's done everything right. The pace has dropped considerably over the last 3 rounds, but Hyde's in control.
Well, it looks like he's going to go into unknown territory. He's never been further than 7 rounds in his professional career. Last 45.
And if this guy has anything left, it's in the later stages that he'll be able to take advantage of Hyde's hands being down by his waist. But I don't think he has. He's taken a peppering throughout the fight. Having said that, he's taken a peppering from most of the big guys that he's fought, so maybe he has something left, I don't know.
Good right. Takes a good shot, he really does.
There's no question about that. He digests the punch so well.
Hyde has caught him with 1 or 2 quality shots tonight that have finished off previous opponents, but Martin has taken 1 count. He took a 6 count in the 2nd round, but apart from that, never been in really too much trouble. He's moaned and he's complained a little bit, but never been seriously inconvenienced. And now Hyde will, for the first time in his career, come out for the 8th round.
Bonus 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 8.
Well, I guess if we've ever had any doubts about Hyde's stamina, this is the fight in which they might be answered. Round 8, schedule 10. But unlike Jean Chanet, and this is good, Hyde hasn't gone sort of mental walkabout when he's failed to put his man away.
No, he's kept his composure very well. He's moving about. As I say, he hasn't increased the pace an awful lot, but over the last couple of rounds. But he's still in control. His balance is good. You know, he's confident. He's moving very well on his feet, side to side. And when Everett Martin does launch an attack at him, he's able to spin out quickly and get off with his quick jab. He needs to work the body a bit more, and he needs to work on that when he goes back to the gym, but all his head shots are really good. Fast hands. Again, those 3 or 4 good shots are really quick. You won't get many heavyweights that can punch that fast.
No, I'm sure that Herbie, if we're assuming this goes the full 10, Herbie might be disappointed that he has failed to put his man away inside the distance. But the other side is that I think this is one of his best performances we've seen, Barry.
He's in control, that's the main thing. He's controlling the pace of the fight. He's been able to do what he wants, and ultimately that's what you want to be able to do when you're in the ring and you're in this squared circle. You want to be able to control your opponent and do what you want to do.
Still opening up, still trying to find the finish. A little rueful shake of the head from Everett Martin.
Yeah, the way you're going to hit Martin clean is to either come over a lazy jab or to put in 4 or 5 punches and finish with a body shot. Rip that body up hard, because he's very unconditioned around the solar plexus. And I have absolutely no doubt that a good left hook from Hyde around the solar plexus would really do damage to him. I think Hyde has settled in his mind that he's going to go the full 10.
Pause 10 seconds. Seconds, round 9.
So they come out for the 9th. 2 rounds to go, 6 minutes of boxing. And I wonder if we're going to see a little barnstorm from Hyde now. That was a good right to the body, dug it in.
It would be great for him if he could turn it on now in the last 6 minutes and finish this fight. It would be great for his confidence that he knows that he can relax and switch on the pace late in the fight and still be able to pull a stoppage out of the bag, you know. But Martin's going to be hard to get out of there. He's very tough. Now, Hyde's been allowed to hold the ropes like that, and the referee should have come on to him much sooner than this about grabbing the top rope. That's not allowed. It's against the rules, and the referee has never said a one thing to him about that.
No, he hasn't. A little flurry from Hyde at the start of the round, but Martin, as he's done throughout, absorbs the punishment. And once again, Hyde holding onto the top rope with his right hand, jabbing with the left. Jim Printing really should have said something to him by now.
Yeah, he's impressive tonight, Hyde. He's still very sharp, and this is the 9th round. He's very quick and very observant, and I'm sure he must be tired because he's tried very hard to get rid of Martin, and he's expended a lot of energy. But this is good work on the inside too. And you see there that he can obviously throw body shots, and he's not trying it. You know, this guy has obviously got a solid chin. He should be trying to hurt the solar plexus, hurt the body hard. But he's only a baby, he's developing, he's getting better.
Yes, and you really can't argue with his record so far. 22 years of age and a triple champion.
Yeah, and if you can't knock somebody out, you know, total whitewash is the way, win every single round.
Which he's doing.
So far, so good. See, what he's doing is he's giving this guy so many different angles that Martin is not able to set himself up. He can't jab him because he's been outspeeded. And every time he tries to set off for the punch, Hyde's on the other side of him, you know.
Well, we're just 3 minutes away of seeing Herbie Hyde go 10 rounds for the first time in his life, from going the full distance for the first time in his life. And he's done a fair job on Everett Martin. You can see maybe a little bit of frustration on Hyde's face that he hasn't been able to finish the fight inside the distance, but he has fought a good fight.
He's talking as much as Freddie King in the corner there, so he's not too tired. It's a doddle for him. He's been able to box his 10 rounds and control the pace.
Pause 10 seconds.
Well, if my lip reading is up to scratch, I think I heard him. I think I saw him say, "I'm going to try and stop him."
All right.
Last round. 10-round chief support, sponsored by Thompson Directory. Herbie Hyde, Norwich in the white. Everett Martin, Houston, Texas in the blue.
Crowd shouting, Herbie, get on with it. If he said he was going to make a concentrated effort to try and stop this guy, he should be throwing more shots now and really working him over. But I think he's, honestly, he may say that in the corner, but I think he's made his mind up that he wants to go 10 rounds. And Martin is not going to let him stop him. He doesn't want him to.
Martin's record looks like continuing of taking established heavyweights, up-and-coming heavyweights, making them work for their corn every inch of the way. Looking for the opening, Hyde, but it's such a good defensive boxer, Martin.
He's got a tight defence to his head. Blocks punches very well, and gets his head moving. There's a
good right.
A good shots got straight through. Double left jab on a right hand. Good right hand again.
Well, as I said earlier, Hyde has thrown shots that in the past have stopped opponents. The quality of the work for me has been pretty good.
No doubt he's done enough, but he could have tried to pepper the guy more with more punches, but you know that's been negative. He's boxed very well, and this guy is on record an incredibly difficult guy to stop, and he's done a great job. He's boxed and won every round and kept on his move, kept his wits about him, and his speed has been constant throughout the fight.
Well inside the last minute now. And I think the only question now is the margin of Hyde's victory. And I have to say, I'd give him a shutout. I really would.
It's good combinations. More of those now in the last minute of the fight would be good, would be impressive.
Good finish. Good flurries.
Good.
Well, no surprises there. 1 or 2 boos. But I've got no complaint with that performance. I thought it was pretty fair. 23 fights, 23 wins.
I think it's a total shutout. I think he's won every single round.
I'd give him every round. I'd score at 195. I really would. We're all friends now with Martin.
And ladies and gentlemen, Jim Pritting, our referee, scores the contest 94 points to Everett Martin, 100 to Herbie.
And he's given him a couple of rounds by a full point margin.